But it's the acronym of SOAP, S-O-A-P. And I'll start before I drop this with Spanish. Have you ever been in a situation maybe with a girl you were dating? It's probably the easiest, where she just starts like, I don't know, not going crazy on you, but just starts, maybe it's not about you, but just starts like da-da-da-da-da-da talking, and you want to like jump in and say, yeah, but, or you want to fix, or you want to do that. Does that resonate with you at any point in your life?
Oh my God, far too much, Michael.
Yeah.
Far too much.
Yeah. So what I have observed in my life is we just want to fix it.
Yes.
We just want to jump in and we want to like say, all right, we'll do this next time. Or we just want to, we gravitate immediately to fix it mode. And what I want to present to you is what's really happening in those situations. And the easiest example is when this shows up with your wife or your girlfriend, because it shows up most often. But it also shows up with like people, with friends. It also shows up with, your boss or whatever that might be. And so SOAP starts like this. And basically what SOAP is what to do when you are finding yourself in a situation with your girlfriend or your wife where she is just going 120 miles an hour with how her day went or something you did or whatever it is. So that's that's the solution here. Of the million times that shows up in life where a partner is yelling and whatever, this is how to handle that. This is the 100% proven best way to do it. So SOAP is, first of all, the S, sense their emotion. Okay? The first thing you want to do is be very self-aware and sense what's happening. So in this situation, my wife might be like, all right, well, this is happening with my work and this is going on here, or da-da-da-da-da, and she starts talking fast. So the very first thing I have to do is I have to sense what is happening. Sense the fact that she's kind of going off the rails right now. And I need to know that that's happening. Like, I haven't said a word. I've not said one word in this, but I'm sensing that, okay, she needs to process something happening in her world right now. So the S is first, sense their emotion. The O is what you say first, and that is, ooh, I get it. O-O-O-O-O-H, I get it. And all you're saying there is, yeah, I get it. Yeah. You're not trying to fix it. You're not trying to solve the problem midstream. You are literally just saying, ooh, I get it. Yeah, your boss sucks. Ooh, that thing didn't happen. Yeah, I can relate. My client fell. I didn't get that one client, or whatever it is. So the S is sense their emotion. Then just simply say, ooh, I get it. I totally get it. The A in SOAP is to allow for thrashing. Because what needs to happen in that situation is the person that you're talking to needs to get through everything. So you have to allow for thrashing. You have to allow for them to do whatever it is they're going to do, even if it means it's directed at you. And let me tell you, that's a real son of a bitch. Because there are times, and this is how arguments start with our wives or our partners or our girlfriends, because they are like, you did this, and you did this, and you did this, and you did this. And what do? We're like, nuh-uh. Then you want to fight.
Yeah.
And look, that's human nature. And I'm not saying SOAP is easy. But it is like, sense their emotion. Yeah, I get it. Allow for that space of thrashing, even if it's directed at you or about you.
That is probably going to be my toughest one right there.
Yeah, that's going to be the hardest part. That is going to be the hardest part, especially when it's at you, is that you want to come back. And then the P is what my boss says, because he's very religious. He's a man of faith. So the P for him is pray. And what I believe the P should be, and that's fine. We're saying the same thing here. I always say pause. Ooh. So before you actually say anything, before you come back with anything, before you engage in any direct combat conversation with your partner, is just pause. Take a breath, listen to yourself, and then speak. So sense their emotion, say, ooh, I get it, allow for thrashing, even if it's directed at you, and then pause or pray, whichever you need. And then, and only then, do you move forward with the conversation. I didn't say SOAP was easy, but what I will tell you, and this really is a lesson in active listening, is what it is. And I I've used this all the time because I deal with clients. And as I told you before, I'm dealing with these crazy entrepreneurs who have all sorts of mindset issues. And like, oh, my offer sucks or my suck. And I'm not selling anything. And I'm the worst person in the world. And I give them that space to I allow them to thrash. And they're usually thrashing at themselves and all that. And then I pause and I don't try to fix it. But I listen very carefully. And this is what he means by pray, is I listen very, 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 very carefully to whatever comes up inside that I need to then say to the person. And sometimes it's asking a question. And dude, I get it. If you're with your girlfriend and she's thrashing at you, it's going to be really challenging. But I have found over the last year of using S.O.A.P often, especially with Tanya, that it does produce 100% of the time a much better result. Because a lot of times it's thrashing, maybe sometimes at me, sometimes it's about work or whatever. It's like giving a human being, another human being that you're close to, another human being that you have a relationship with, that space to just say whatever it is they got to say. And before you go trying to fix it, because that's what we do as guys, don't go fixing, just pause, and whatever God or the universe tells you to say in that moment, that's what you say. How's that land with you?
I got to tell you, I love that. I love that, but the only hang up that I have that I hope you can help me with this is, do you have any advice for the thrashing part? Because I know I can, sense their emotions. I'm really good at that. The ooh, I get it. I can do that. That thrashing part, if it's directed at me, I don't know if I'm going to have to walk away in that moment or, take a deep breath and kind of, I don't know, go somewhere else mentally while they're doing their thing. Because I feel like every time it comes to that moment, I can handle the thrashing if it's not directed at me. But when the thrashing gets wild and I'm being berated, it's more than just difficult.
Yeah, so I get it. Here's what I would say about that. You're probably going to, one, have grace for yourself, because if it is directed at you and it starts getting super personal, yeah, at that point you just have to kick into S.O.A.P goes out the window.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. That actually made me feel better about it, because in my head that was the scenario I was using S.O.A.P for.
Yeah, and I think something else, I've learned this in my relationship, is that sometimes Tanya just wants to fight. Not in a negative way, not in a, she just needs to engage in a healthy is probably not the right word, but just engage in all right, we're gonna kind of get after it here for a little while. And that's okay. Sometimes that's what's needed. For a long time, I wouldn't engage her and it pissed her off. And I learned, I'm like, oh, you know what? I need to engage her. So sometimes we would just fight, and then you get into some serious, we are a couple. This is not like I'm a monk sitting on a throne. There are going to be times where the thrashing gets personal. You're like, hey, wait a minute, I got to defend myself here. But under let's say, I don't know, a large percentage of the conversations to come back to something you specifically asked me, which is, what do I do in that situation? Is you have to remember, and this is true with all of us, myself included, is that if I'm coming strong, if I'm coming hard at you, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me. So if you're sitting there and your girlfriend is just going, I can't say that word, going crazy on you because you guys are in an argument, because it happens, that's what relationships are all about. It's not easy 100% of the time. You have to understand that almost everything, yes, it's your actions. You probably did something. You didn't do something simple. You didn't take the trash out, or you didn't do the dishes, or whatever it is. That is just a byproduct that lights the fire for the thing that pisses her off about you. But it's you through her filter. It's you through her lens. So I'm not saying you're completely absolved of this. You should probably take out the trash. You should probably do the dishes. Hold up your end of the bargain. Clean your side of the street. Okay? But in reality, the super personal thrashing has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with how she perceives you through her effed up lens. And I say that lovingly. It's all the baggage. It's all the stuff. It's the childhood trauma. It's all that stuff. But that's just how she sees you, and then you can get to a calmer place. So if you understand that going in, and you're like, all right, she's just saying all this stuff because she's, got a bad relationship with her mom or whatever it is, that allows for that space. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. And I thank you for that, because it seems it's when you say it like that, it's a very simple concept, but I often forget in those moments that it doesn't have anything to do with me because it feels very personal in the moment.
Oh, yeah. Totally.